Hey everyone, it's Chelsea with Savannah Wren Studio here for another session of Connected Warrior Yoga. And today, what I want to focus on is what it feels like to hold on to tension, emotions, and thoughts and feelings in our body. And yoga is a great way to explore this concept of holding on to this excess baggage in ways that some other embodiment specialties don't really have the ability to do. And as you can tell, it's really humid here in Missouri. So hopefully this sequence will help you work up a good sweat. At the very least, it'll open up your mind to some of your patterns and habits and routines that you have with regards to emotional labor and emotional baggage. So we'll begin by sitting in a comfortable seated position, whatever that means to you, whether it's crisscross in easy pose like what I'm doing, using a mat or a bolster under your hips to elevate them up, or sitting in a chair, whatever's most comfortable for you. And bringing your hands onto the tops of your thighs. And I invite you to either close your eyes or soften your gaze, whatever you feel most comfortable with in this moment. If you haven't done so, you might want to make sure that the door is locked, so that way you are in a safe, contained space so that you can practice your yoga without interruptions. And I encourage you now to find the flow of your breath as it naturally comes in through your nose, filling your lungs, flowing down into your abdomen, and returning to the space around you at its natural pace. The purpose of this is to not control the breath, but just bring awareness to what it feels like in your body when you breathe in and out. And when you're ready, I invite you to refocus your eyes or open your eyes, looking over your left shoulder, over to the right, taking in your surroundings, noticing the space around you. Before returning the head to a forward natural position, tucking the chin down to the chest, allowing the upper shoulders to elongate. Slowly roll the head over to the left shoulder. And then down back to the chest, pausing. And then moving the head over to the right shoulder, making sure that the shoulders remain down. Rolling the chin back down to the chest. Lifting the head, raising the hands up toward the ceiling, internal rotation of the pinky fingers. Planting the right hand next to the right hip, extending and reaching the left arm over to the right side. Adjusting the pose to fit your body. Lifting the arms, reaching back up toward the ceiling. Before planting the left hand beside the left hip, reaching over toward the left side of the body. Lifting the arms up toward the ceiling. This time we'll place the right hand slightly behind the right hip, left hand on the right knee or thigh, and gently twist so that you're looking over your right shoulder. Unwinding the spine, extend the arms overhead. Plant the left hand slightly behind the left hip, right hand on thigh or knee, looking over the left shoulder. Releasing the spine, extending the arms overhead, and then allow them to float all the way back down to your mat. Meeting in tabletop with our wrists under our shoulders, knees under our hips, untucking the toes, knitting the ribs toward the back of the spine. Begin to lower the belly, lifting the head and the hips, coming into cow pose. Moving the spine up toward the ceiling, arching the back, tucking the tailbone and the head in for cat. We'll do this 2 more times. Lowering the belly, lifting the head and hips. Arching the back, tucking the tailbone and chin. 1 more time. Lowering the belly. Arching the back. And then returning to a level tabletop position. Place the big toes together. Walk the knees slightly out toward the edge of your mat. Shift your hips backwards, coming to sit on the tops of your calves and feet. Walk the hands forward, extending into your child's pose. Take a moment to adjust your body, to find your version of child's pose. Lifting the hips and abdomen, shifting the weight forward. Continuing with knees down, through knees down plank, all the way onto your belly. Adjust your hands to the outside of your chest, knees in line with your legs, parallel with your mat. Coming into crocodile breath, just taking a moment to feel your belly expand underneath your weight, feeling the ground beneath you. Inhale, lift the chest, drawing the heart forward for cobra. Pausing at the top and then exhaling, releasing back down to the mat. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. 1 more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Tucking the toes. We'll begin to lift our body through plank, meeting in downward facing dog, whether you use your knees up or knees down approach, that's up to you. So lifting the body through plank, lifting the hips, taking a moment to adjust your feet and your hands, coming into downward facing dog. I invite you to find a little bit of intrinsic movement, maybe pedaling your feet, allowing your lower body to continue to stretch and get movement. Before finding stillness once more. Shifting your weight forward, looking between your hands, step your feet toward the front of your mat, kneading right behind your hands, coming into forward fold. Allowing the weight of your upper body and gravity to slowly pull you closer to the mat. Inhale, straighten the spine, bending the knees, coming into half lift. And then exhale, forward folding again. Begin to lift your torso, rolling the spine, coming up to a standing position, rolling your shoulders back, broadening across the chest, meeting in mountain pose. We're going to inhale, reaching our arms overhead, small back bend before swan diving, folding down into forward fold. Just building a little bit of heat, tapas or energy. Begin to roll the spine. Arriving in mountain pose, we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift, small back bend, forward fold. As you exhale down into forward fold. Rolling up, standing up straight 1 more time. Inhale, lift the arms overhead, small back bend, forward fold. As you exhale, down to the mat. Lifting, straightening and aligning the spine, arriving once more into mountain pose. Keeping our feet about hip width distance apart in our mountain pose. I'm going to extend our arms out in front of us as if we're pushing against the wall. And then I want you to tighten your arms, legs, abdomen, glutes, holding everything super tight for at least 3 breaths. Noticing what sensations come up as you're holding this tension, and then relax and release it down. And do that 2 more times. Inhale, extending the arms in front of us, pushing against that imaginary wall, tightening our body, feeling the tension and stress on our body as we do this, as we're holding this pose very tight, just like our body holds our emotional sensations in stressful situations. And releasing down, shaking it out just a little bit, 1 more time, lifting up, extending our arms in front of us, tightening the body. And releasing it down. Now shake it out. Stepping the right foot forward, the left foot back at a 45-degree angle, bending the front knee, coming into warrior 1, but bringing the hands down to your sides. Feeling the stability of this pose, the energy of this pose. And then ball your hands into a fist and tighten your muscles in your legs and your abdomen and your hands and arms. Once again, holding that tension and stress, feeling what it feels like in your body. To hold on to that tension, hold on to that stress, and release it out. Shaking the hands a little bit. Switching the feet, left foot forward, right foot back, 45-degree angle, hips squared toward the front of the room if possible. If not, no worries. Hands once again down at your sides, slightly open, chest lifted. Begin to tighten the body from the head all the way down to the toes, feeling that tension throughout your body. When we're in times of stress or traumatic situations, our body tends to go into stress response, fight, flight, fawn, freeze. And if we're unable to shake out that energy, it can become trapped in our body. Release it down, shake it out. Turn the right foot out perpendicular to your mat, lifting the arms out, coming into warrior 2. Taking a few breaths. Balling your hands. Tension through your arms and your legs and your belly. When we're unable to release those stress responses, the energy is stored in our body, leading to triggers, mental health struggles, as well as disorder within our body. Releasing it down, shaking out the arms. Step the right foot forward, left foot back, perpendicular. Coming into warrior 2 on the right side. Pausing a moment. Feeling your breath. Or balling your hands, tightening your body. Opening the hands, releasing, shaking out the arms. Turning along the long edge of your mat, feet in a wide stance, toes turn slightly out, bending the knees, tucking the tailbone under the hips, coming into goddess legs. Extending and reaching the arms overhead, taking up all the space on your mat, knowing that it's okay to take up space, to be you, to feel your emotions, to feel your body and the sensations that it's going through. Bringing the hands together overhead, begin to forward fold down to the mat, wide-legged forward fold. Lifting the chest, rolling the spine, aligning the spine again. Hands pointed down to the floor, open, parallel with your body. We'll do that 2 more times, lifting the arms out wide, taking up that space on your mat for you and for your experiences. Hands together overhead, palms together, forward fold, bringing hands down toward the mat. If you'd like, feel free to use blocks or a book or something to just help make this a little bit more accessible. Lifting the body, shoulders up, back, and down. Opening up into goddess pose 1 more time. Final time, lifting the arms, taking up that space, being seen, being heard, being validated for your experiences and who you are. Knowing that stress, trauma, tension is not your fault. Hands together, forward folding, releasing down into your wide-legged forward fold. Lifting the spine, rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. Back into supportive goddess pose. Straightening the knees. Begin to slowly walk your feet together as we come down onto our mat. With our legs outstretched in front of us, wide-legged staff pose. Lifting the arms and reaching forward in between your legs into the center, and then drawing the hands back. We'll do that 2 more times at your own pace. Lifting the arms, forward folding, and then drawing your hands back 1 more time. Bring the right foot in next to the left thigh. Lifting the right arm over toward your right foot. And slowly walk the hands back up. Extend the right leg out, left leg nestled into your right thigh, lifting the arms, reaching both arms down toward the right leg. Begin to slowly walk the hands back up, lifting the spine. Turning to face the top of your mat, tint. Turning to face the top of your mat, tinting your feet, extending the arms out in front of you. Slowly begin to roll all the way down onto your mat, adjusting to walk your feet up towards your sits bones, your hips, and your pelvis. Arms flat on your mat, parallel to your body. We're going to lift the hips, coming into bridge pose, tightening the body and the abs before releasing slowly back down to the mat. We'll do bridge pose 2 more times, lifting the hips, contracting the lower body. Floating the hips back down slowly, as if through honey. 1 more time. Lift the hips. Relax them all the way back down. Lift the right foot, extend it out, lifting it toward the ceiling. Place the right ankle on the top of the left thigh, creating a triangle with your right leg, and gently push the right leg toward the front of the room. Releasing the right leg, extending it to the ceiling, lowering it all the way back down and placing it next to your left foot. Lift and extend your left leg, pointing it toward the ceiling. Place the left ankle on top of your right thigh, creating that triangle with your left leg, and gently push your left leg toward the front of the mat, away from you. Release the left leg, extending it overhead, returning it next to your right foot. Lift and extend, pointing your right foot toward the front of your mat, drawing the right foot in toward your abdomen, catching your right leg just below the knee. Release the right leg, extend it out, place it next to the left, lifting and pointing the left foot out, drawing it in toward your abdomen, catching it below the left knee with both hands. Releasing it, extending it all the way out before replacing it next to the right. Walking the feet out, to the sides of your mat. Bring the knees together, creating a pyramid with your knees. Begin to slowly walk the feet back in toward the center of your mat. And when you're ready, I invite you to find a comfortable resting pose, whether that is in Shavasana with your legs and arms extended on your mat, or rolling over onto your side, taking child's pose, or sitting up on your mat or in a chair, whatever's most comfortable for you. We'll take 3 minutes to sit in silence, allowing our body to rest. If you like, I invite you to focus on your breath, feeling your breath in your body. If thoughts enter your brain and your mind, it's okay to recognize them and allow them to continue on without judgment or expectation. One more minute. And at the end of that minute, I will invite you to begin to exit out of your resting pose. When you're ready, I invite you to refocus your gaze or open your eyes. Begin to reintegrate into your surroundings. If you're laying down, I encourage you to roll over onto your side before lifting up into a seated position. Otherwise, you can just find a little bit of intrinsic movement, maybe in your fingers and toes, waking your body up, getting ready to exit your yoga practice for the day. Once you're in a seated position, I encourage you to look over your left shoulder, scanning the room, looking over your right shoulder, and doing that a few times just to reorientate yourself to the room and to the space around you. And then when you're ready, return to a long, elongated spine with your hands either on your thighs or gently placed in your lap. Taking a last moment for yourself, sending gratitude to your body and to yourself for your yoga practice today, for making time for yourself, and for making yourself a priority. I want to thank you so much for joining me today for this Connected Warriors class. I'm here every Thursday via Zoom, and you can find the link in the description below through my Eventbrite page. You can find it on my Facebook group, my Facebook page, Savannah Wren Studio, and on my website. Until next week, I hope you have a great rest of your week, your weekend, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.